Put in a lot of hard work over the last couple of weeks in terms of our defensive structure and our set play against setup, which has obviously caught us out in recent weeks. And I think that 2-week break that we had there was crucial for us because we've not been able to have a lot of time on the training pitch given the volume of fixtures that we've had, the European games, a lot of recovery sessions for the boys who played, a lot of travelling involved in it. And as a manager, you want to have as much time as possible with the players on the grass. So we used that really, really well over the last 2 weeks. And I thought you saw there, defensively, the boys were solid. Kucherenko's had nothing to do, really. And in attack, we looked really brave on the ball, showed a lot of courage in tight areas to play our way out of trouble, and scored a couple of really good goals.
How much of a gamble or otherwise was it starting with Zach Sapsford?
It was a huge gamble, yeah, because he only trained yesterday. He took a really heavy knock in the Rapid Vienna game in the build-up to the penalty, and he's not trained at all since. But he's just such a strong character. These are the types of games that he came to Scotland to play in, and there was no way he was going to be anything but fit as far as he was concerned. He was probably only at 70%, if we're all being honest, but he's a terrific character. He's had a great start to his Dundee United career. The fans love him. They love his work rate and his energy, and the way he never gives defenders a minute. And his goal contributions up to now have been exceptional. Both assists and getting on the score sheet. So couldn't be any happier for Zach. The next couple of weeks will be important for him to get him, to where we need him to be.
Yeah, his presence seemed to give the fans an enormous lift even before a ball was kicked, and really important to your tempo in those early stages as well.
Yeah, definitely. Look, Nico, he's only had a few sessions himself with the group, and he kind of playing catch up. He had a little bit of a niggle at his previous club, and fitness wise wouldn't have been able to start the game. Zach's naturally fit anyway, lots of energy. So we're delighted that he was able to play. But I thought there were so many good individual performances. It's always the case that the forward players get all the headlines, and Dolchek and Sapsford and those guys deserve that, because the hardest thing in the game is putting the ball in the back of the net. But I thought my back three, Iovu, Carestas and Esselink were outstanding against really physical forward players. Dundee quite direct, and McCracken kicks the ball a mile. They had to go and compete, be aggressive. And the two in front of them, Kamara and Sevelch, won their individual battles, picked up second balls, and we looked really, really solid. So all in all, terrific display from back to front.
Is that as comfortable as you felt in one of these fixtures?
I wouldn't say comfortable. At 1-0, you're always wary of the fact that the opposition are still in the game. It only takes a penalty kick or a free kick or a corner to go against you, and all of a sudden they can find themselves back on level terms. But I thought the opening 45 minutes, I thought we were excellent. Really controlled the game from back to middle. Middle to front. I thought the variation in terms of playing short, finding the guys in the pockets, lengthening the game at times, using that pace that we have at the top end of the pitch. I thought the players were excellent. Yeah. So the second half, we asked them, not to sit back, not to be satisfied with that 1-0. Go and try and get the second goal and really take the wind out of Dundee's sails. And I thought we did that.
Jim, you can hear out there in the stands how much that means the fans and the reaction you got. Does it feel good for you as a manager to be able to provide that for them? Yeah, definitely. Look, we've been on the wrong end of the result in the last couple of fixtures, and today was important that we gave them something to cheer about. The supporters have been with us all last season, travelling on the road with us in Europe. They've got some great memories already from this season in Luxembourg and Vienna. And today it was important that we repaid their faith and sent them up the road happy. That message was certainly given to the players, and the players wanted to make the supporters go into work tomorrow and have the bragging rights. I think that was important.
You named Dolchek there. He seems to be a right find for you, and you must be delighted with his performance and how he's played. So
yeah, delighted with Ivan and how quickly he's settled into the Scottish game. And it's the recruitment process has been a long one and a strenuous one, and you know, Ross Goodwin deserves a huge amount of credit. You know, he spends you know, numerous hours of the day, as you can imagine, especially in that busy period, trying to find the profiles of players that I've given him. You know, we needed pace at the top end of the pitch, and we've certainly got that now with the likes of Sapsford and Dolchek, and you know, Trapanovsky and Fata. And you know, we've worked hard in the summer. I think the recruitment has been excellent. I couldn't be any happier. And once we get everybody back fit, I think we've got a really strong competitive squad to go and really challenge for that top 6 this season.
Has there been any change in what you expect from your deadline day, Jim, in terms of any ins or outs?
There might be a couple of the young players going out on loan, depending on what the injury situation looks like after the game. Obviously, there's a few guys there with knocks today. You know, Stevenson's took a real heavy one on his knee. Sevel's just, you know, feeling a little bit of tightness as well, and so we'll assess all those guys tomorrow, and then we'll make decisions on some of the younger players. But in terms of incomings, yeah, I mean the money's gone. The board have been hugely supportive. You know, we've signed 14 new players, and I couldn't be any happier with the business that we've done. We've just, you know, been a little bit unlucky with some of the injuries we've picked up along the way.